Hey guys, it's Steven. Got a Bytes Chart update for you here. It's been about 3 weeks since my last video, and overall the chart was in a lull for a couple weeks here until last week around the third, fourth here. We did start to see an uptrend in the price, but also this week we did get some activity from within the community. The NeoTokyo Codes Twitter started to get active the other day here, and some more interesting lore um, coming out here, and I found this pretty interesting as well as um, citizens of a maniacal game. So maybe there is some sort of game or possibly some utility for not only just the NeoTokyo citizens, but the Bytes token. So that is definitely relevant, and I'm pretty sure that's why we are starting to see a large spike in the price here. So from the lows of we had about um, $1.60 was the pivot that in my previous video was the first support, and it's been pretty true. So for some reason these charts aren't saving all of my previous pivots, and so they just kind of disappear. So I just kind of add them back here. But this $1.60 range seems to be a really good support number there. So and after I added up last week's numbers, it just so happened that $1.60 or so was the support for this week. So that's how that is lining up there. Um, so I guess what we can talk about is, where is the price going, and what are we going to do about it? So um, something that I haven't done in a while is I did create these two numbers here are actually monthly pivot points. So, just to create a monthly pivot point, you start at the beginning of the month, the high, the low, and the close for the entire month. And then, you calculate that into the pivot chart calculator, and that's how you get your monthly pivots. What I normally do is I usually just take the weekly one. I just take the highs, the lows, and the close for the week before, and that gives a little bit more concentrated and easier targets to hit. But I wanted to kind of just show exactly what we could be seeing for this month, because it is starting to seem like we're going to get a lot of action. So, we have this monthly central pivot at 232. So for me, I'm just going to use this basically as like a magnet. I feel like the price will start to gravitate toward this number here, and you can also use this maybe to place liquidity positions, on this, because if we are starting to have some more action here, it might be worth taking advantage of that volume. So below this 230, you gotta be somewhat bearish, and then if it's above, obviously a lot more bullish. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we got the monthly resistance one at 320, and then there's also a second and third resistance, but that's like more closer to $5. And then there's also a support, but that's below $1, so not really relevant. And if we zoom in here and look at the weekly pivot point, we got one here at 220, and you can already see we're starting to get a lot of action with a couple days right in this number here. So I'm going to go over a strategy in a second, but we also got this. I guess that you call this the resistance one right here for the week at 290. So I think all this will depend on, if we get um, some more news from the Twitter account, and I was told that the Bytes 2.0 is supposed to be launching this week. So once that launches, people will need Bytes tokens if they want to continue to generate yield. So that should, in theory, cause a demand spike for the token. So we will see there. And then just to check in on the Bytes holders and how that's played out over the last couple weeks here. I'm not sure why this was loading. I was just on it. just reset. But I do remember that the holders was about this, a little bit lower actually. Okay, so 8,075, so down a bit on the holders, and the supply is up a little bit less than 10% here, and market cap all the way up to 2.8 million last I checked. So you know, pretty interesting how that's playing out. I would think that there would be more holders coming in with all this stuff that's coming out here, but yeah, I'm not sure why there's not more holders coming in. So I'm just going to be keeping an eye on particularly this holders count. So moving on to the bytes to Ethereum ratio, I went ahead and did a similar thing where I created a monthly and a weekly pivot. So as you can see here, these purple lines were where my liquidity pools were, and overall they performed very well, and we were within the range for a lot of time. But now I feel like it might be time to just reshuffle that those positions and see, you know, what we can do as far as taking advantage of this volatility. So now that we're back above this, so we have the monthly central pivot here at $1.61, and as you can see, it's actually a lot lower than where the US dollar one. We're actually a lot closer, and that's just a function of the price of Ethereum being lower. So that's why the USD value is lower here. But you know, overall, it's been going up pretty decently, but really no telling, right? Like this, if you're looking on the Ethereum chart, this is a little bit bearish, right? Because you got this resistance here, and then you have these central pivots, which will possibly bring the price back down lower. So for me, I'm just going to wait and see. I did actually start to layer out of my bytes, and I've sold probably more than I should have. So I will be looking to take advantage of this liquidity pool to get some more fees. And just to finish up on the pivots, you can see here, obviously we got one at this 0.002. You know, we got the weekly pivot here, and then you got this resistance here up top. So yeah, we'll see. Let's just check in on the liquidity pool positions and how they've been performing. I'm probably going to be closing these positions here soon with gas so cheap right now. It's at like 12 Gwei. So one thing that I did do, it's been about 8 days now. I wanted to basically just create a little bit more of a concentrated liquidity and kind of fill some gaps that I had. And obviously not really the best move. I put in too many bytes and too much ETH. And although I did get a decent amount of fees for when the price was in there, it was doing well. But obviously with the price moving up, impermanent loss got me, right? The divergence loss. So I would have made more money had I just held on to my tokens, right? So that was definitely a lesson learned there. I got a little bit too aggressive with that, and going into the launch and all this news for Bytes 2.0. So that was a mistake, but that's okay because overall my other positions kind of carried me here, where I was able to get some nice fees. Let me see here. So I was able to get about $953 in fees over the last 51 days here. That's been fine. The APR goes down as the price goes up. That's fine. I'm more focused on total fees earned, and then this is obviously the best performing one. Still at very high APR compared to where it was a couple weeks ago. The total amount of fees was very, very good. So overall, it served its purpose, right? To invest 1 ETH and then get back almost double that just in fees alone. it definitely made it worth it. So yeah, let's just move on to checking out where the liquidity is right now in the liquidity pool. So going to the infos tab, um, as you can see, the volume's still basically super low. I'm sure we had a few spikes, but you can't really see it here in volume. But we went from the lows, the tens, to we got like 30K over the last couple days here, 38K there. So let's just check in on these liquidities here and see if there's any opportunity. So you can see my liquidity positions here. I'm going to be probably removing that and reshuffling this, and I'm going to probably try to take advantage of some volatility that we're going to get here. So, if we have 0.43 ETH locked in for support here, if I were to match that, maybe I want to do 5 bars, one, two, three, four, five. So, yeah, we'll see strategy wise, but let's look at what the fees have been looking like. 300, yeah. So, I mean, there is an opportunity to make maybe $25, $50 a day conservatively, liquidity pooling here. And that's probably more than most people are going to be able to make yielding from their citizens, right? So, when I was calculating, how much I was making a day on some of these liquidity positions, if I made what's it say, $1,900 divided by 69 days, right? So like $28 a day. So not bad compared to what the citizens are yielding. So definitely some opportunity there. I'll let you know what happens with that. And yeah, I don't really think there's anything else. If there's anything else you guys want covered or want to talk about, just let me know in the comments. But I'll just go ahead and finish now with just the overall macro markets and where are we heading. Personally, I'm still very bearish. I am shorting the market, hedging my portfolio. The key number that I've always watched is this 19,800. It seems to be that we're moving towards that. So until we break above this $2,800 number with some conviction, there's really no reason to buy now and be bullish. So for now, it seems very likely we're going to come back down and test this. Looking at the overall macro markets, we're literally right on the line of a bull or bear market. So we're about 20% down from all-time highs on the S&P 500. So it really literally could go either way. So not necessarily the time to start taking risk. We're going to see probably a lot of volatility over the next couple of days here. It could literally both ways to shake out money both ways. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, and I'm going to wait for the right opportunity. If something sets up and it makes sense, that's when you want to start taking your bets. But right now, the key support I'm watching for the S&P 500 is 369, and also, we want to look at the biggest markets, which is the bond markets. Not sure what's going to happen here. As the TLT, the bond ETF, goes down, that means interest rates are going up. So there is a yearly support at this 109.80 area. So maybe we'll come down and test this again. Not sure what's going to happen with that. So, Ethereum, basically, I'm just keeping track of Bitcoin for me. The numbers and the way Bitcoin flows is a little bit easier for me to track and chart. So I'm just going to assume that this Bitcoin to Ethereum ratio is going to stay somewhat together here, and really just want to focus on where Bitcoin's going right now. So yeah, I'm just going to finish it here. So if you got any questions, let me know, and I will catch you later.